blue color. It's weird. Oh, yeah. Hello and welcome to Benedetti Worley Stadium, the site of tonight's matchup between the North Central Cardinals and the Augustana Vikings. It's going to be a much better evening as far as competitiveness goes, as we've seen the last three times the Cardinals have been on the NCTV 17 airwaves. They have won by, I'll say, about 60 goals over those three games. Tonight they match up against the Vikings, who are 12-1. They're 3-0 in CCIW play and now threatening and net the first goal of the game just about 2 minutes into our contest. Hello, welcome to this NCTV 17 production of Cardinal Lacrosse. Kevin Jackman here inside Benedetti Worley Stadium. It's not a great night on hand. It's going to be raining throughout our contest. Temperature isn't bad. It's going to be hovering around 50, maybe 60 degrees all night long. So the Augustana Vikings net the first goal, and I believe, I'm not sure who that was scored by. We'll check the official score in a moment. Cardinals 11-2 on the season, Vikings 12-1. This match essentially going to determine who's the conference winner and sets the stage for what should be a really good CCIW tournament, which will come in the very first week of May. Augustana again controls. Cardinals coming off of a lot of wins in a row. They have yet to lose since their defeat at the hands of Southwestern University back on March 20th. And I believe, if not mistaken, this is the first time they've led, or rather trailed, since that game. Here come the Cardinals on the attack. Claire Norfleet to the middle. Gina Fisher and a whistle. Contact out in front of the net. So she'll get situated right at the top. And I'm not sure if you've watched Cardinal Corner from this past episode of the Cardinal Report. Gina Fisher broke down what she likes to do from this particular position. Now let's see what she does here. She goes straight and right into the goalie's net. And it remains 1-0, 26:40 remaining on the clock in the first half. Thanks for joining us tonight. Should be a good one. One more regular season broadcast on tap of Cardinal Lacrosse. That comes a week from today, University of Dubuque. Another 7 o'clock affair. This one should be the best of the season here tonight. Vikings with it on offense, streaking towards the net, and it's blocked by Kat Schultz. And now pushed ahead by the Cardinals. Taken away. Beautiful steal by the Vikings. And here they come. That's Kaylee Nolan racing behind the net up at the top, and it's almost lost by Kendall Maduro. And the ground ball won by the Cardinals. Fisher backs it out. Cardinals having difficulty getting it past midfield. Still up in the air. Who wants it? Cardinals take it. Shot ahead, and Bianca Perry loses it towards the sideline and rolls out of bounds. It'll be Viking ball. Racing up the field and setting the table offensively for the Vikings is Ann Hopkins. And now it's reset at the top. Around the horn to the far side. Field should be slick. The ball's going to be skipping off the turf tonight. Goalies will have to account for that. It's been a wet, rainy few hours here in the Naperville area. It just started maybe 2.5, 3 hours ago. Rain's off and on right now. I'm not sure if it is raining or not. There are some umbrellas popped up underneath us here in the grandstands. Out in front, and that's Shelby Cosman, guarded by Claire Norfleet and company. Side of the net, Vikings have held control for a large portion of this game already, similar to what the Cardinals have done to their opponents over the last, say, 13 games or so. Too steep an angle to take a shot, backs it out, and now the Viking offense resets. Olivia Mayer gives off. Augustana was expected to be one of the top teams as Schultz snags another shot. Plucks it right out of midair. And this one goes towards the corner and will, whose ball will that be? That will be Viking ball. Mayer carries it in. Up at the top. Slow moving early on. Back to Mayer. Cardinals defense playing a lot of man-to-man right now. Vikings trying to set some picks on the far side. You can see them creating a wall, and now the lob out in front of the net. Streak is rejected by the Cardinals. Nice defensive effort. Here comes the second effort for Augustana. No good. Knocked out of the netting. Nice defensive play by Anicia Mattingly. And this one goes back behind the net. And it is still up for grabs. Cardinals come away with it. Picks it up, and plenty of pressure applied for the Cardinals. Ground ball now, won by the Vikings. They have a 3-on-2 advantage. Shot on goal, and it's past Schultz. Make it a 2-0 game. And that was Olivia Mayer with the goal. Able to get that underneath Schultz on the right side. Olivia Mayer scoring her 32nd goal of the season. Second on the team to Ann Hopkins, who has 44. Also has 19 assists for 63 points, but that total is second on the team to Emily Handrahan, who has 68 points. She has 39 assists this year. That is an impressive total. Cardinals into the offensive zone and look to keep it there. Tough sledding in the early goings for NCC. Down 2-0, 21-27 to play, first half. And it's Fisher, near side, back to Fisher. All-time leader in career goals for the Cardinals. They could use one here to stay competitive against a very good Augustana team. The goal was good, but a whistle came just moments before Fisher shot that. So wipe away the goal, and Fisher gets free positioning about 10 yards away from the net. And here she comes. She will not try and rush the goal. Claire Norfleet gets it knocked away. Ground ball, still loose for anybody, and now it's Vikings possession. Here they come, racing up the field. Pretty even as far as a man advantage is concerned. Scoop shot up in front of the net, and no angle to shoot it. Has to peel out of there. Cardinals open up the season 2-2. Been very good of late, 9 consecutive wins. Into the hands of Mayer, who scored just moments ago. And that, number 19, Ann Hopkins, leading scorer, goal scorer, that is. Out in front of the net. Shot was taken, but it popped out right at the middle of the shot attempt. It was a point-blank miss. And now the Cardinals with possession. I believe that's Bianca Perry racing up the field. Scratch that, the pass was intended for Perry. And it will belong to the Vikings. And you can see the rain really coming down right now. If you don't have an umbrella, you are probably fairly miserable right now if you're in the stands. Pass to the near side of the hoop, and it's down and under, good for the third goal of the game. The Cardinals now trail 3-0. Lights taking effect to the stadium tonight. 19:11 to play first half. Hopkins with the goal, Mayer with the assist, and a timeout taken. We'll take one with them. We'll be right back on NCTV 17.
I can't hear you through here. Do you know where they would be at? We have to figure that out.
I'm asking Tim how it sounds. I have no idea. I can't hear myself.
Nothing? Do they hear anything on that?
Oh, I don't know. I'm waiting to hear how it sounds. We'll see. But I can't mute the mic because it's too off.
Just make sure that this...
Welcome back in Augustana with a 3-0 advantage. Just 11 minutes into our game. A little surprising considering the fact that the Cardinals came in 11-2 and scalding hot. 9 consecutive wins have propelled them towards the top of the conference. Right now it's Mayer. And the Vikings have been very methodical offensively tonight. But when they go to the net, It is an impressive offensive attack as they come here, and it's shot right through and out the back. Front of the net, picked away by the Cardinals, and here they come. Big contact. Big contact. And a whistle and a yellow card issued to Carla Bennett. I believe that was Maddie Moss. Who took the hit on that particular play. No cruel intentions, I don't think. It was just a matter of Moss trying to deke one way and going the other. As it scooped up the sideline, and it's saved from going out of bounds. Quinn Foley with it. Taking Emily Zadney with her. Now out in front, it's Hopkins. And Hopkins backs it out. Augustana top in conference 3-0. They've won 11 in a row. Cardinals 2-0, Carthage 2-1. And that's another goal. Chalk it up for Augustana. That's Shelby Cosman, a senior from Indiana, with a goal. And it is 4-0.
Viking goal, number 20, Shelby Kosman, assisted by number 10.
17:27 to play, first half. The rain really falling here inside Benedetti Worley Stadium. They'll play on. That's the advantage of having turf. And this particular field drains fairly nicely. Cardinals pick it up, Anicia Mattingly. Bianca Perry. Perry looks for Fisher. Fisher has to stop, and now she comes out in front of the net, and the Cardinals net their first of the evening. Casey Whaling makes it a 4-1 score. How about that for a nice rush? Aside from Perry, when she was looking for Fisher, nobody took more than 3 or 4 steps with the lacrosse ball. There's a little bit of hot potato.
Goal, number 12, Cassie Whaling, assisted by number 23, Gina Fisher.
Fisher with the assist. And obviously having a goal is huge, but momentum and mentality-wise, it's nice just to see something other than a 0 up on the board. So make it 4-1, 17-13 to play first half. Tipped up, ground ball picked up by the Cardinals. Fisher splits a pair of defenders. Here comes Mattingly. Oh, thought she lost it for a second. Scratch that. That is not Mattingly. That is Kara Stevens. Stevens picks it up, puts a shot, and she looks like she was hit in the face. She's hurt. She's still behind the net. Meanwhile, the Vikings come flying to the other end and put a shot up and good. It's Sam Hopkins with a tally. And the Cardinals have an injured player on the other side of the field. And they will stop play. We will take a timeout with them. Kara Stevens injured behind the net. We'll take a break on NCTV 17, 5-1 the score. Kara Stevens walking off the field. Gets a round of applause from some of her Cardinal teammates. As you saw just moments ago, the rain falling quite heavily here inside Benedetto Worley Stadium. You can see it especially in the definitions of the light just on the other side of the field. As it appears Kara Stevens got hit in the face. She'll get tended to by the training staff from NCC. And with or without her, the Cardinals will have to play on. Down 5-1 after the Vikings score a quick one on the other end. 3 goals scored no more than 50 seconds apart. And we're right back at midfield to get this game back underway. Some sort of delay in action, and here we go. Can't imagine it being very fun out there right now for the players or the officials. Popped up far side. Hopkins out in front of the net. And Schultz able to get a stick on it. Ground ball won by the Card. Oh, hold on. Still loose on the ground. Still loose. Getting scooped around, and Fisher finally comes up with it. Another ground ball. Cardinals have to win another one, and instead it's Augustana there to pick it away. Sloppy ball handling has really hurt NCC early on. Hopkins settles it down. Works it to the far side of the field. Vikings already with a 5-0, or rather 5-1 advantage. Looking to add on here. Hopkins has it. Guarded by Fisher. Had a step. And a whistle called. Looked like Hopkins got her goggles knocked off. Cardinals close in fast, and she has to back away. Hopkins goes towards the middle, and passing complete, intended for Maduro. But the Vikings still have it on the left side. Now behind the net. Possessing it right now, Kaylee Nolan. Senior from Moreland Park. Still with it, just on the left side behind the net. Cardinals not allowing anybody to enter that area right now, right in front of the goal. Kat Schultz has done a nice job of keeping him out. Ball loose and picked up, and still loose. It's playing jitterbugs on the Cardinals. Cassie Whaling. And the Vikings take right back over, and oh, here comes a near turnover. Gina Fisher nearly got it. Now pokes it away from behind. Still loose and on the ground. The Cardinals come away with it. Emily Zadney. Zadney gets it poked away from behind. Right back to the Vikings. And Mayer ducks out of a stick. And a timeout called. And a timeout called. And with that, we'll be right back on NCTV 17. The Cardinals trail 5-1. 13:05 remaining, coming out of a timeout. The Vikings, the ones calling it. They lead 5-1 over the Cardinals in a matchup of heavyweights inside the CCIW play. Vikings 3-0, Cardinals 2-0. Vikings enter the season as expectant winners of the conference. And here they are leading with just a few games to go. Mayer makes a move. And a whistle. And they'll give her position and ask the Cardinals to get out of the way. So now Schultz, tasked with most likely making a stop here. Here comes Mayer. Jukes to the outside. No angle. Waited too long. Out in front of the net. Picked away by NCC. Nice job by Whaling out in front of the net. And now it's to the right side, picked up by the Cardinals. Mattingly cuts across the field. Still cutting. Trying to find a corner, and she finally gets it. Pushed ahead, Maddie Moss. Moss to Fisher. Fisher just over the head. And it's on the far side. Ball still loose, and a foul, I believe, on NCC. And it is. It's Nikki Maris hacking from behind. Vikings wasting no time getting up the field. Knocked away on the ground, and ball still loose. Outside, Nolan, the one able to pick it off the turf. With it now is Emily Hadrahan. She leads the team in assists, and this time she gives it away in a foul called on the Vikings. Kaylee Robbins drawing the whistle. Robbins shuffles it out in front. Mattingly pushed ahead again to Bianca Perry. Perry to Fisher. Fisher cuts towards the net. Puts a shot on, and it's just past. Went just maybe 3 or 4 inches above that top crossbar. So the Cardinals get another shot. Curling around the net. Robbins has to come back out, or rather Whaling. Out in front, Maddie Moss at the top. Has been quiet tonight. And a whistle. .10:14 to play first half. 5-1 Vikings, a stark departure from the last few games that we have seen here on NCTV 17. And Maddie Moss takes the stick right to the cage. And she'll have it again. They'll ask the Vikings to back off for a brief moment. And Moss will split a pair of defenders, puts a shot on, and he gets knocked out before she could actually get it away. So the Vikings trying to turn defense into offense on this sequence with under 10 to play here in the first. Outside, near the 20-yard line. With possession of it is Nolan, guarded up by, rather that is, I believe, Olivia Mayer, guarded by Gina Fisher. Stalking just outside. Shelby Cosman. Back to Mayer. Middle of the field, curls back out. Mayer then tried to run the give and go, but Gina Fisher read it perfectly. Now she's whizzing up the field, trying to keep her distance from a pair of defenders, just weaving in and out. All her attention is sprung loose. A couple of Cardinals out in front of the net, and ball still loose. Maddie Moss, shot rejected, ground ball, and it's going to be the Vikings coming away with that. And it is absolutely pouring. Heaviest it has rained all season long. Cardinals have to contend with that and a 4-point deficit against the Vikings. 8:30 to play first half. Goal hasn't been scored in quite some time. Hopkins. Mayer. Cuts. Shot. Schultz. Bats it away. Mattingly lofts it ahead. Stevens appears to be back in the game. And somehow falling down but keeping possession is Nikki Maris. We might see that more and more as the game goes on. A slick surface and a desire to cut quickly do not usually go together. Cardinals just outside on the perimeter trying to go to Claire Norfleet, and she's absolutely hammered 5 yards away from the net. I believe that was Caitlin Hightower with the infraction. So Norfleet with a wide open path. And the whistle sends her in. Picked up near side by Whaling. Whaling curls around. Shot! Good! And she gets absolutely smoked afterward. But she makes it a 5-2 score, and the Cardinals now back to within 3. Well done by Whaling. Did not think she was going to shoot that coming off the curl. But she does, and it's a 5-2 game. Making it all the more impressive is the fact of the elements at this current moment. (5-2), 7:01 to play. Whaling, a junior from Greenwood, Indiana. Cutting the deficit down to just 3. I don't care if you have an umbrella, if you have rain gear on. I don't think there's going to be a single dry piece of clothing in this place by the time this game's over. This rain does not look like it's going to let up anytime soon. Mayer out in front, and a wide open shot, and that is good. So the Cardinals get one and then give it right back as Shelby Cosman, fed by Mayer, able to nick one just inside the upper right-hand, or rather upper left-hand corner of the net. .646, so only 15 seconds off the clock. Not a ton of fans in attendance. The ones who are here have those things. Umbrellas, they come in useful during times like these. I'm sure our cameraman Chris is quite thankful for the little facade that's hanging over part of the press box that he's in, but I'm not sure if he's entirely immune to some of the rain that's coming down. He is in a t-shirt, so that tells you something. Iron strong. 6-2, Vikings lead. Fisher battling for a ground ball. Shot out. And Bianca Perry fighting to keep it alive and hit her stick. The Vikings just too persistent. Won by Kendall Maduro. And here comes Hopkins. Once again leading the charge. Shot just off. Picking it up is Rebecca James. And now Zadney trying to carry it towards midfield. Robbins bounces it ahead to Maddie Moss. And again, the rain intensifies. Moss blisters in. Weaves in and out. Still has it on the left side. Goes over the top, and Bianca Perry loses it. And here comes Gina Fisher. Looks back for instructions. Outside Moss. Fisher off the right side. Trying to cut in, trying to find some room. Cardinals now playing the part of patient attackers. I guess if you're a Cardinal, you're hoping the Vikings have tired themselves out through the first 30 minutes of this game. Norfleet trying to post up. Can't do so, and it's taken away by Maduro. Thrown way out in front. And now Mayer, all alone, makes a little shoulder shake. And the Vikings settle it down. Maduro will wait. Directing traffic up 6-2 with 4 minutes to play. Given over to Bennett. Bennett, a freshman, yet on the field for the Vikings tonight. From South Holland, Michigan. Rather, South Holland, Illinois. Mayer cut to the inside and rejected. Nice job by Emily Zadney. Kept her out. Now a ground ball picked up by Gina Fisher. So Zadney's defense turns into team defense. And here come the Cardinals with 3:20 to play. Big ground ball towards midfield, big bouncer. And Vikings have it. Nolan to the far side, behind the net. 2:50 to play first half. Cardinals still have games against Illinois Wesleyan, University of Dubuque, and Carthage College, though you assume that this game is probably their most trying amongst the remaining four. Augustana, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they were picked to finish first with 35 votes and 5 first-place votes. That is about as good as you get. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Vikings just waiting for the right opportunity or just want to get into half. Here comes Mayer. Mayer gets turned away by the Cardinals. Ball knocked loose. Nothing comes of it. Kaylee Robbins trying to force the issue. Maduro knifes in and picks up another tally just before the half. Seven to 2, a minute and 12 remaining on the clock. The Vikings have lost once this season. That was back in their second game of the season. A 13-8 loss to Denison. They played a 9-8 game against Allegheny. And most recently, their closest affair came against Capital on April 2nd, an 8-3 game. Everything else has been close to, if not more than, double digits. But they don't have what the Cardinals have, and what the Cardinals have are 2 shutouts on their resume this season. A 24-0 shellacking of Cornell College. And an 18-0 win against Elmhurst. Back in play, and Mayer right back with it. 60 seconds to play. Puts a shot right in the middle of the chest plate of Kat Schultz's padding. Can't imagine that one felt very good. Now the Cardinals with a chance, and we've seen how quickly they've been able to score tonight. Mayer is trying to race up the sideline, stops and pivots. Now pivots back. Working up the field. Heads out, and Fisher calmly collects. 35 seconds on the clock. 5-point lead for the Vikings. And Norfleet, that is Whaling, gets rejected. Had a nice space right in front of the net. Maddie Moss, 15 seconds. Six seconds left. Fisher has to make a move and shoot. She gets blocked, and that'll be the end of the first half. The Vikings will enter intermission up 7-2 through the first 30 minutes. Very competitive first half, and we'll step aside for 10 minutes on NCTV 17. We hope you join us for the second half here at Benedetti Worley Stadium. Same day you had the issues with the
0-3-5-5-7-9. Our second winner is 0-3-5-5-8-7. Again, 0-3-5-5-8-7. If you're a lucky winner, please meet by the concession stands. Thank you.
Looks cool.
Mm-hmm. You're not getting wet, are you?
It dropped.
Oh. You want something rainproof? Yeah. Yeah, this guy. This one.
I mean, it's really not coming down on me unless the wind gives it a little blow.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly just coming straight down on top of the camera right there. That's why it's.
I wish I could hear myself.
Still can. So whatever you're saying now can be heard.
Hmm?
Whatever you're saying now can be heard.
Mm-hmm.
We're just not using this right now.
There's no audio coming in through that car. I'm just recording the footage.
We are live.
I think so. How we getting?
About what time did you get started?
Pretty much right away.
Game. Not while they're introducing.
Which wouldn't have mattered. They would have been able to hear it anyways.
It's really coming down now.
Yeah.
It's right. My lenses for. Oh, you record too. Correct.
No. For such an artsy guy, I guess that sucks.
I have to get it replaced before the next office review. I can use my tablet, but it's one of those.
Yeah. I'm so tired already. I haven't done anything today. I'm tired.
You have to be back at the station.
I'm just gonna drop and run.
Do you know if anybody's gonna be there for us?
At the station. I know Ryan, one of the sports guys, will be. I think there's actually 3 highlights being done tonight.
Do you guys have new contractors? Same old?
These are the moments where people get fired.
Well, how about we just unplug?
You'd have to do it out of the camera. It would sound like it would just be an awful sound.
Oh, I see. There's no gating here.
Yeah, there's no way to unplug the actual 2 or 1. Break away from 3. Or you just turn the camera off, but nobody would want that.
Time goes way too fast. It was like 2 minutes. Like,
Oh, you lost your favorite Ethernet cord.
the one I had, Carl wasn't too pleased.
Was he not?
The other one was. It showed since on my to-do list, he's like, I appreciate that thing on your to-do list. That's why. I'm so unbelievably weird.
Just about set for the second half. 30 minutes back up on the clock. The Cardinals, they're on the wrong end of a 7-2 score against the Vikings. Augustana coming in 12-1. They look every bit of it right now. Dominating on the offensive end and stifling on the defensive end. Matty Moss fighting for position and scoops it towards the corner. And Moss will still loose. Still fighting for it. And Moss lose body position. And the pass goes right towards the net, picked up by the goalie, Analia Fowler. Cardinals come away with it. Here they come on the offensive side, and a whistle. And a foul right in front of the net. Claire Norfleet will have a free position. Will she try to rip off a shot? She will, and she does score the third point of the game. 7-3. Cardinals needed a good start out of the gate for the second half, and they get one from Claire Norfleet just 38 seconds in. And per the usual, Danielle Fiala and her coaches go down the line and give everybody high fives after the score. Fiala in her first year as the head coach here at North Central, guiding them to an 11-2 mark. Trying to make this season the program's best. Right now, it's looking like a good possibility. (29-22) left in this game. Popped up and won by Mayer. I think Fisher thought she had it. Shot wide left, no good. Hopkins sliced in, now has to dice out. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Our 4th of 5 broadcasts of women's lacrosse. Potentially a 6th. Hopefully it comes down to the Cardinals hosting one of the conference games and we can have another one. Another whistle. And something happening. Hold on. Maybe not. Oh, the Cardinals awarded the ball. There was a large burst of cheer. Pretty much as loud as you would hear if the Cardinals had scored. Norfleet out in front of the net. Taps one off the top. Maddie Moss scoops it up. Thought she might be able to have a clear shot on net, but the angle too steep. And Fisher will get free position right where she is. Front of the net. Bounced in, Maddie Moss. Cardinals cut it back down to 4. Rather 3. 7-4 the score.
Cardinal goal, number 19, Madison Moss. Assist to number 23, Gina Fisher.
Fisher with the assist. Moss with her first tonight. And now Norfleet goes to midfield to try and win another possession for the Cardinals. Ripped up, and the Vikings come away. Nice pickup off the turf by Hopkins. Hopkins peels out. No one outside. Cardinals went into half 7-2. Now they're within 3. Hopkins makes a move in front of the net, tries to go underhand. Kat Schultz picks it away. Gives it off to Fisher. Fisher weaves and bobs. Flings it up ahead. Picked off the turf by Claire Norfleet. Norfleet getting whacked from behind. And a whistle in her favor. Out in front of the net, turns and fires, no good. Cardinals tracking it down towards the corner, and they get it. Perry brings it in. Kara Stevens with it at the top. Makes a move. Free on the right side. Shot is good. And the Cardinals within 2. Beautiful move by Stevens. And the Cardinals have claimed their 5th goal of the game. It's 7-5. And the bench is nicely pumped up.
Cardinal goal number 15, Kara Stevens.
3 unanswered for NCC. After trailing the game 4-0 to start. Whatever adjustments the Cardinals made at halftime, I'd say it's working. Still on the ground. Kara Stevens comes away with it. She absolutely flies up the field. Pass in the middle of the net. Maddie Moss trying to handle it. Blocked out of there. Cardinals pick it up. Whaling with a stick in her face. Gets it over to Moss. Moss has Perry out in front. Perry loses it. It's on the ground near the goalie. Still loose. And just whacked out of there. But Fisher was there to pick it up, and she gets fouled on her way to the net. They say it's like basketball. And I almost just called that play like a basketball play. It's not a hoop. It's a net. Here comes Fisher. Beautiful shot. Everybody eagerly anticipating what's about to happen. Fisher with a nice juke. Shot on goal, and they're within 1. Oh, my. Gina Fisher. There's a reason she has scored more goals than anybody else in Cardinal history, and that is why. The efficiency that she just showed heading to the net and the precision in which she whizzed that by the goalie, Analia Fowler, that is quite impressive. And now Fowler coming off the field. Fowler's day has been paused by the Vikings. They have 2 other goalies, Jenna Hoffman and Madeline Russell. Hoffman is a senior from Colorado. The other is sophomore. Wasn't able to see what number is in net. It's a little too far away to see right now. We'll be able to confirm who is in net for the Vikings in a moment. Outside Nolan. Cardinals within 1, 7-6, 24-30 to play here in the second half. Hopkins, no room to move inside. Vikings trying to slow this game down. Cardinals, well, they want to speed it right back up. First, they want the ball back. Lofted towards the net, through everybody, and picked up on the other side by Quinn Foley. Foley rejected by Kaylee Robbins from going anywhere near the goal. Stevens. Nice little shoulder push. Cardinals showing more fight here in the second half, and a whistle. I believe this is away from the ball. And a foul. And now the officials have to talk about this or talk this over. You see the official right now heading over to the scores table. Is he looking for possibly a new watch or a new whistle? Looking for some sort of equipment. That's a brilliant idea. Look at that on the left side. The Vikings have their own tent. Today's the kind of day that it pays to be a bench player. Those sweatshirts look mighty dry right now. Those umbrellas do not. Still raining here at Benedetti Worley Stadium. It has been raining since the very start. Intensity has waned and waxed over the course of the last hour or so. Right now, it looks heavier than it is. Then again, I'm able to sit inside in the comfy press box right now. But it certainly has been harder throughout times of this game. Vikings with the ball. Maduro with it. Nolan. Mayer gets past Zadny. Blocked by Schultz behind the net, and she picks it up. Flings it out in front, and here come the Cardinals with a chance to tie. Gina Fisher using the sideline. Ahead to Norfleet. Norfleet cuts right. Puts it out in front. Moss just a little too tall. And hold on, there's a whistle. And a yellow card issued to Moss. For what, I'm not quite sure.
Cardinal yellow card, number 19, Madison Moss.
So the Vikings will have the ball where the Cardinals should have had the yellow card not happen. 22:15 to play, second half. One possession game right now. Mayer with it. Mayer and Hopkins were awfully good in that first half. They have been extremely quiet here in the second. And I said it towards the end of the first half, and I will repeat it now. It's almost as if the Vikings tired themselves out, like the adrenaline was pumping a little too hard from the get-go, because they seemed to be a little tired at the end of that first 30 minutes. In and out of the stick of Shelby Cosman. She scored twice in that first half. Sideways pass. Hopkins bounces it in and stops the bleeding for a moment. The stick checks out, and it's an 8-6 score with 21:29 to play, second half.
Viking goal, number 19, Ann Hopkins. Assisted by number 22, Quinn Foley.
Beautiful shot at downtown Naperville as the Cardinals will take a timeout. Rain expected in the forecast all night. Both teams knowing it. They came prepared for a drenched Benedetti Worley Stadium field. Supposed to be a beautiful weekend. The Cardinals will be on the road down in Bloomington. Illinois Wesleyan University hosting them at 12 o'clock on Saturday. It's supposed to be 70 or so here and dry. Cardinals cheering at midfield. And break it down. Despite giving up 8 goals, Kat Schultz has played very well tonight. Has put herself in position between the goal and the shooter on more than just a few occasions. A bad goalie in this game would probably be 12-6. Instead, it's just a 2-goal game, and the Cardinals have a chance of protecting their home turf against the Vikings. Norfleet bats it down, and it's picked up by the Cardinals' Kara Stevens. She has scored once here in the second half. Can she score again? Or will she assist? Loses it on the way to the net. Ball still loose. It's in the goalie's stick, and it's finally secured. And a high pop towards the middle. And Mayer has it. Now she comes flying down the field. Off to the races. Unimpeded to the net. Shot is squeezed out. No good for Hopkins. Try to submarine that one in. A little break in the madness that has been the second half. We're just 10 minutes in, but so much has happened. The Cardinals outscoring the Vikings 4-1. As Mayer make it 4-2. Mayer basically drags her stick on the turf, and that's a goal, making it 9-6. So the Cardinals' momentum has been stopped by the Vikings. They close to within 7-6. And now they're back down by 3. Back to midfield to get this thing back underway. Ground ball, won by the Cardinals. Bianca Perry out in front, and Kara Stevens tries to control it. Still loose on the turf, and it's won by the Vikings. Top of the screen. Long pass to the near side towards midfield, and here come the Vikings into the Cardinals side of things. Hopkins with it. Slings it past to Maduro, who slings it over to Nolan, who gets it back into the hands of Mayer. Mayer uses a pick. Gives off to Emily Handrahan. Nolan barking out orders. Waiting for something to develop out in front. Now takes it herself. Bounces it just to the right side of Kat Schultz. So the Cardinals back down by 4 in their second half lead, back down to 4-3.
Viking goal, number 39, Kaylee Nolan.
Well, NCC has been on a 4-0 run before. They could certainly use one right here with 18:36 to play in the second half. The speed with which North Central can score essentially keeps them in just about every game. Ground ball, won by, no, not Fisher. Still loose, being kicked around, batted around, and Maduro finally pops up with it. And a foul on the Cardinals coming on Nikki Maris. Mayer, far side. Behind the net. Swung around and now into the hands of Hopkins. Under 18 to play. No angle to shoot from for Mayer. Teammates asking for Mayer to try and take it to Whaling and drive against her. She opted not to. Instead, gives off to Nolan. Cardinals switch. Shot wide. And the ball awarded to the Vikings. (10-6) second half. Cardinals outscored 7-2 in the first. Narrowed the gap to 7-6, and now it's widened back up. Whistle and a stoppage in play against the Cardinals. Goals scored today for the Cardinals are Norfleet, Whaling twice, Stevens, Moss, and Fisher. Fisher, the team leader in points with 3. Cardinals take it away, and here another ground ball, still loose. Who has it? It looks like Whaling has it, and she gets it poked away from behind. And a foul called on the Vikings. Whaling's pass gets sent back. Picked up by Emily Zadney, and Zadney gets it ahead. And it's into the hands of Norfleet. Norfleet to Maddie Moss. And a foul as Moss was going to the net. They set her up. It is Jenna Hoffman in goal. And Hoffman nets it on the fly. Still has it and now flings it way downfield. to the 40, and it's picked up. Nolan past the 40 to the 30, at the 20, to the 15, to the 10, and no touchdown scored. That would be the easiest 6 points in lacrosse. Far side with Cosman, scored twice today. Still a score of 10-6 with 14:43 to play second half. Cardinals have only one remaining timeout in this game, so you think they'll save it till maybe about the 7 or 8 minute mark. They need to make an adjustment like they made at halftime that allowed them to just come out and score 3 unanswered goals and 4 out of the first 5 here in the second half. Ball loose. No Cardinal there within proximity to pick it up. Hopkins will drive and now backs out. Near side, Nolan. Back to Hopkins. Hopkins looked like she wanted to shoot it. Now the shot underneath is errant, and it's going to be Viking ball. To the top, and it's Hopkins. Four main players that have held the ball for the Vikings tonight. And right now it's Mayer as she squeezes past Zadney and draws a whistle. Mayer just drops her stick on accident, and now a timeout taken. Maybe it wasn't an accident. Timeout taken, I believe, by the Vikings. And we'll take a break with them. The Cards down by 4 late in the second half. 12 minutes remaining. We'll be back on NCTV 17. And welcome back. Cardinals down by 4. 12:30 remain in the second half. Vikings, the top team in the conference, 3-0 their record, 12-1 overall. Cardinals 2-0 in conference, they're 11-2 total this season. So an evenly matched game, and right now the Vikings in their 4-0 start, that's the difference. Hopkins trying to find some room out in front of the net. Trying to get a screen from Emily Handrahan. Nolan playing a little dance out in front against Claire Norfleet. Mayer drives. Looks for somebody to cut. Finally, it's Hopkins, and Hopkins scoops and scores. That one really hurts because it now puts the Cardinals back at their halftime deficit of 5. It's 11-6 here at Benedetti Worley Stadium. Both teams 1 timeout remaining in the second half.
Viking goal, number 19, Ann Hopkins, assisted by number 32, Olivia Mayer.
You can see how drenched that track is just beyond the field of play here at Benedetti Worley Stadium. Can only imagine how fast the field is right now. A lot of fans still here with umbrellas in tow. Norfleet loses the opening toss-up, and now the Vikings have another chance to score. Through, and it's Foley trying to pick it up behind the net. Faced up by the Cardinals 14, and that's Kaylee Robbins. Hopkins has been so good tonight. Her and Mayer have been absolute forces. Hopkins with 5 goals. Mayer with 2 and 3 assists. Cardinals reject another attempt for the Vikings to score. Out in front, Moss fighting for the ground ball and finally gets it. Getting poked and prodded, and now finally coughs it up towards the sideline. And it's won by Emily Handrahan. Not sure what more Maddie Moss can do. We're approaching 10 minutes here in the second half. It's a 5-goal game, 11-6. Out in front, and it's a goal scored by Foley. Quinn Foley. And now the Vikings are officially doubling up the Cardinals, 12-6. And you start to wonder if Danielle Fiala might call that timeout now to try and get her team to come back together and make some sort of push. And they will take a timeout. We'll break with them. We'll be right back on NCTV 17. Officially under 10 to play, and coming out of a timeout, the Cardinals lose possession off the opening flip. It's been a tough stretch for NCC of late. They pull to within 7-6, but the Vikings turn down the Jets from there. Speaking of Jets, pass nearly picked off by the Cardinals. Ground ball still bouncing around, and it's Maduro picking it up. 5 unanswered for the Vikings. So a run of 4 consecutive goals to start the game, and 5 right now that they're in the middle of. In the middle, the Cardinals have been very good. Maduro has also been very good. That's her second goal of the game, and it's now 13-6. .9:14 to play as the rain continues to fall. Talked about it at the top. This game would essentially determine who's going to win the conference regular season. Right now, Augustana figures to be in the edge for that spot. Coming in 3-0. They're trying to improve to 4-0. The Cardinals were 2-0. And barring something improbable, they look to slip to 2-1. But hey, anything's possible. Crazier things have happened in sports. Cardinals just need 1 to get back on track as Fisher wins the toss. Puts it ahead, and it's Moss. Moss to Norfleet, through Norfleet. Picked up by Bianca Perry. Perry gives off to Fisher. Fisher twisting and turning, trying to find some room. Now double teamed out in front of the net, trying to find who's not covered. Gets pushed all the way to the corner, now flings it to the far side. And a whistle against the Vikings, I believe. And Anicia Mattingly will have it. She'll draw the goalie with her. So right now, the goalie is a good 10 yards, 15 yards away. Mattingly cannot capitalize. As Hoffman able to get back in goal, and the Vikings sniff out the Cardinals' offensive attack. Big bouncer. Hopkins gets it taken away by Stevens, whose stick gets hacked, and she gives it right back up as well. Abby Hogue was the one to take it away. Vikings get it knocked away. The Cardinals picking it up. Whaling ahead to Norfleet with a one-handed snag. Pushing it ahead to Bianca Perry. Perry lofts it ahead to Fisher. Fisher picks it off on the bounce. Now out in front, and Norfleet met by the goalie. And Hoffman will draw the whistle. And I believe she'll have to come out of the goal. So this is essentially an automatic goal, or at least you hope, for Norfleet. I don't think anybody's allowed to occupy that space. Got to put something on goal, right? She does, and it's a goal for NCC. Stops the bleeding for the moment. It makes it 13-7. Hoffman extremely aggressive around the, or rather I should say away from the net. Got stuck just moments earlier, but was able to get back. Not that time. And it's back to within 6 for NCC. 7:16 to play. Cardinals need to turn one goal into quite a few more. Fisher will take the spot in the middle of the field. 7:16 to play. Vikings win possession. Here comes Hopkins. Really interesting second half. Cardinals came out on a 4-0 run. Vikings then went on a 6-0 run. Cardinals need another, but they're running out of time. 6:40 to play. At the top and lost, but picked back up by Carla Bennett. Hopkins slings it up top to Mayer. Mayer tries to turn the corner against Norfleet. Can't do it and goes to Maduro at the top. Maduro tries to blitz past Cardinal defense. They may just be wasting time right now, knowing that the clock is on their side. Towards the middle, shot wide, and the Vikings will have possession again. Nolan to Maduro. Five minutes exactly. Cardinals might need to start pressing on defense. Lofted towards the net, and Schultz will pick it away. Good start. Fisher with it. Couple of shakes, and she's free. Saw the double team come towards midfield. Norfleet gets it taken away. Ground ball still loose. Cardinals have it. Mattingly popped out of her stick. And it's taken away by Nolan. Now Hopkins, 10 yards away, dumps it off, shot wide, no good. And the Cardinals will have it. Schultz, the closest there. And Schultz overshoots her intended target of Kaylee Robbins, and now the ground ball picked up by the Vikings. And a whistle. Believe this will be a timeout taken by Augustana. They'll talk it over with 3:46 to play. We'll also break on this rainy evening here from North Central College. We'll be right back on NCTV 17. And we're back. Action resuming here from Benedetti Worley Stadium. 3:40 to play, second half. Cardinals down by 6. Augustana, the preseason favorite. That is translated to the regular season as they stand 12-1, looking to improve to 13-1 with a victory tonight here at North Central. Could very well be NCC and Augustana as the top 2 teams in conference when it is all said and done, which means those 2 teams might host semifinal games in the conference tournament, in which case we'll see the Cardinals again past that Dubuque game. A big game against Carthage would become that much bigger should the Cardinals fall here tonight. Carthage is right behind NCC right now with a 2-1 conference record, so it would be even, and most likely will be even going in to their matchup a week and a half from today. 2:25 left. Maduro with it. Kicked out, and the Vikings will give it off to Hopkins. She'll do it herself, and then she'll just cut right through the lane and right back out the other side. Under 2 to play. Mayer with space. Dumps it. Slap shot, no good. Heading towards the sideline and out of play. And the Vikings will have possession. Minute 45. On a wet, rainy, miserable evening. The only thing that would have made this worse weather-wise would have been a colder temperature, although, as my cameraman Chris was telling me in between one of the breaks, the temperature has dropped. Maybe not significantly, but enough to the point where it might get a little uncomfortable if you're not in a sweatshirt or an overcoat. Fisher with it, and about a minute 20 to work with. Blistering out the sideline right in front of her own bench now. Stops and keeps going and stops and keeps going. Now passes backwards to the left side. And it's picked up by Mattingly to the right. Inside the 15-yard line. Inside the 5 on the right side of the screen. Gives off to Kara Stevens behind the goal. Stevens wanted a curl. No avenue there. Fisher trying to find her way in. It looks like she got hit right in the funny bone. Has to drop the stick. That's not a fun feeling. Especially when you're losing 13-7 with 41 seconds left. That stings all the more. Fisher on net, and it's right into the crease of the arm for Hoffman, and she saves another one. She's only given up one since she came in relief of Analia Fowler. Long pass downfield. 18 seconds left, and the Vikings have come away with a win here at Benedetti Worley Stadium to improve their overall record to 13-1. They're perfect in conference play at 4-0 this season. And the Cardinals have some adjustments to make should these two teams meet again in postseason play. 13-7 the final. NCC with a couple of runs where they looked like they might be back in it, and not just in it, but could win it. But the Vikings every time squash that and win by 6. Good effort all the way around by the Cardinals and the Vikings. The goals scored today for NCC by Claire Norfleet twice and Casey Whaling twice. Kara Stevens once, Maddie Moss once, and Gina Fisher once. For Augustana, their top goal scorers, and it's not surprising, coming from Hopkins with 5, Mayer with 2, Cosman with 2, and Maduro with 2. That'll do it for us here at NCTV 17. We hope you appreciated and enjoyed the broadcast tonight. We have one more regular season broadcast on tap, and it's going to come a week from today. The University of Dubuque comes to town to face the Cardinals, and what should be, hopefully, a Cardinal victory. For my cameraman, Chris Picciolo, I'm Kevin Jackman saying so long. We'll see you a week from today here at Benedetti Worley Stadium on NCTV 17.